Good morning, boys and girls. So what I wanted to cover today in math is looking at number lines and figuring out what the fraction is. And number lines can be a little tricky. So I wanted to give you some strategies today that will hopefully make it easier for you, okay? So this is the first page in your Math Part 2 packet. All right, so the most important numbers to look at when you're using a number line are the number on the left, so you know where you're starting from, and the number on the right, because that tells you it's only to that number. So from 0 to the whole number 1. So you can see this number line includes 1/4 jump. So it goes 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. But below, they give you a number line that's blank, okay? So if I am going to read the question, it says, how many equal parts are represented by the number line above? What that means is if you start on the first line, and I always pretend like, my finger I'm using is like a frog or my pen, okay? How many jumps forward does it take you to get to this end line? So let's see. 1, 2, 3. So that means there are 3 equal jumps, meaning the jumps are equal in length, okay? Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about fractions as whole numbers. But for right now, I just want us to focus on number lines. So let's turn our page and let's fill in the answers. The directions say, label each unknown with the fraction of the whole it represents. So if I'm going to translate those directions into something that you can easily understand, I'm going to say, hey, kid, fill in each box with the correct fraction. So let's just see how we're going to do this. We start at 0, 1/3, blank third, 1 whole. Another way to write 1 whole would be 3/3. So for some of you, that may make more sense. Like, oh, I see what that should be. Well, it's 2/3. 1, 2, 3. If you're taking 3 jumps, your denominator should be 3. Well, I think you can figure out the denominator for the next one because I see it here, here, and here. But let's just start at the 0 and make sure it does take us 8 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8/8 would be 1 whole. So let's fill in the missing fractions. 2/8, 4/8, 6/8, and 7/8. So as my Nana would say, you have to be a good looker. So let's look at number 3, okay? They show us that the denominator is 4. So that means if we start at the 0, it should take us 4 jumps to get to the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our first jump is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. All right, let's look at the next one. We're doing this entire page together, and you are expected to watch the entire video. All right, we see the denominator 6. Let's make sure it takes 6 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Let's fill in our fractions. 1/6, 3/6, 4/6, and then we're done for that one. All right, this time there's no clue for the denominator. You need to be a good looker. Step 1. All right, I see that we're going to be needing to fit a fraction in here. All right, let's see how many jumps it takes to get to 1. That will give us our denominator. Ready? 1, 2. That tells you that your denominator is 2. So you start at the 0 again, 1 jump. So that means this fraction is equal to 1/2. All right, last one on this page. So let's determine what our denominator will be. Let's start at the 0 and let's see how many jumps it will take to get to 1 whole. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I want, I could fill in my denominators first. You don't have to, but you can. And now, let's fill in our numerators. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 1 whole would be 5/5. Okay, so here is the entire page. If you need to catch up and make sure you've written down all your answers, please do so. If you're ready, let's turn the page. Okay, we are going to do the first 2 together, and then you're going to do the next 2, the rest of the page on your own. Okay, all of these number lines start with 0 and end with 1. So you always start at 0 and you always count the number of jumps to get to 1. That will give you your denominator. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm dealing with sixths here. And let's see what the numerator is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that fraction is 4/6. Let's look at number 4. Okay. Again, let's figure out how many jumps it takes to get to the 1. That will be our denominator. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Start at the 0. 1. There's our fraction. So, to get the denominator, you simply start at the 0. You see how many jumps it takes to get to 1. That is your denominator. Then you go back to the 0, and then you count how many jumps. That will give you your numerator. So try your best on these, on 2, 5, 3, 6. Let's look at the next page. Okay. All of these number lines on this page, it says write a dot on the number line to show the location of the fraction. So they're asking you to locate 2/5 on this number line. It's important to see 0, 1. So I see the denominator is 5. That means if you start at the 0, it should take 5 jumps to get to 1 whole. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. We need to put a dot on 2/5. Ready? 1, 2. So you can just put it like this. Okay, let's do one more together. 4/6. That means if I count over, it should take me 6 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need to put a dot at 4/6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's go over the last page and then you will work on this packet, okay? So, here's where you're going to need some scissors, a glue stick, or some tape. You have fractions down here. You're going to properly place them where they go. Do not tape or glue until you are sure of where they belong. So just to review, let's look at what is expected of you. We did the first paper together. that is done. So you have to finish this worksheet, and this worksheet. You only have to work on finishing 3 worksheets, and then you will be logging on to Dreambox only.